Hello, my name is Seth. I produce music under the name Velvet Ear, and today I want to show you guys what you can get using only Kiive plugins for a vocal chain in an indie rock song. So this is a song called Blue Eyes by a band named Royal Rose. And for our main vocal here, we're only using Kiive plugins. And so here's what that sounds like.
And we did my life get turned around, and I see you now, looking at me with those blue eyes.
So you can hear it's got sort of the rocky spit, like compressed feel. So here, let me solo that with all of like the reverb sends turned off, so you can just hear the vocal.
And when did my life get turned around, and I see you now, looking at me with those blue eyes.
And here's what it all sounds like without any plugins.
And when did my life get turned around, and I see you now.
So yeah, we'll just start walking through the chain. I have all of my different sections of the song going into a bus. So if you ever see me click on a channel and all the plugins go away, that's why. I just like to route all of my vocals through one bus. So the first thing that I'm doing is using the S Quick Strip, just because I feel like it's really practical at getting a majority of the subtractive EQ moves that I need. So we have high pass and saturation turned on, turning up the gain a little bit. And then both of these EQs are in bell mode, just doing slight cuts with a bit of compression on it.
And when did my life get turned around?
Off.
And when did my life get turned around?
It's just doing a lot of the early work that I know I need for like cleanup, but just sort of levels everything out from a frequency standpoint and from a dynamics standpoint. Then we go to this guy, the ADC1 compressor.
And I see you now, looking at me with those.
So this is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of compression. I have it on compressor 2 mode, boosting the input, making the attack really fast and the release really slow. I, as a producer and a mixing engineer, I'm not afraid of compression and like really slamming stuff. I really like the sound of compression that is doing a lot of character work, but is also kind of flatlining the vocal a bit. I added a little bit of total harmonic distortion just to give it a little bit more bite. And then after that, I'm running into another compressor, complex compressor, which sounds like this.
And when did my life get turned around, and I see you now.
So this is doing a really insane amount of compression. We're on 20-to-1 ratio. The threshold is brought down, really fast release, a really insane level of compression, but we've brought the mix down. So if I bring the mix all the way up.
And when did my life get turned around?
And so basically I'm using this as sort of a parallel processing thing where it's adding a lot of like the spit and the bite in the body, but then I bring the mix down to sort of let through the not insanely compressed version of the vocal.
And when did my life get turned around?
And just kind of fills everything up a little bit. So just so you can hear it all at once, let me turn off all of the compression that these three plugins are doing.
And when did my life get turned around?
And then I'll turn them all back on.
And when did my life get turned around?
It has a lot of body, but it also has a lot of character in it. Now, something that I added on the end of this, which was specific to this vocalist, Sam, she sings with a very round tone, which is awesome. Sometimes I was struggling to get it to like peek through the mix a little bit because it is so round. And so what I did was I added some even harmonics with distinct and then blended those in as well. So if I bring it all the way up.
And when did my life
Bring it down.
get turned around?
So now if I do an off and on.
And when did my life get turned around.
It's very subtle. You probably won't even be able to hear it that much, but it's one of those things where when you're trying to get it to pop out of the mix, it's like a very noticeable difference. And then just a little bit of EQ here at the end with the Warmy EP1A, just a little bit of attenuation of 400, just because I feel like that's where a lot of the buildup happens when I'm doing compressed vocals. And then some boosting at 16 and some cutting at 4K, which sounds like this.
Get turned around.
Without.
Get turned around.
You can hear without it, there's like a high end, like cleanness that gets lost, but then also it gets a little bit muddy. And here's what it sounds like when I run all these guys with the send effects that we have going on.
And when did my life get turned around?
And here's what it sounds like in the rest of the mix.
And when did my life get turned around? And I see you now, looking at me with those blue eyes.
If you are interested in any of the plugins that I've shown in this video or anything else that Kiive has made, go to kiiveaudio.com.